Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're starting a new topic on factorising, and to start at the very beginning we're going to be looking at factorising by taking out a common factor. So here is a brief formula on how that works. If you have a factor of A in each of the things that you're trying to factorise, we bring that out of the front of the brackets and we put the remaining, what is remaining left in the brackets following. Okay, so let me show you how to do that down here with some examples. Factorize completely. 10ab minus 4a squared. So first of all, look at the numbers to look for a number factor. 10 and 4 can both be divided by 2, so that would be a factor. And then we look for a letter factor. A is in both of these terms, so A is also a factor. Once you have worked out what the common factor is, then you open your brackets and you divide each term by your common factor to work out what's left. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. A divided by A, well that cancels, that's gone out the front, and there is a B left inside the bracket. Now we do the second term. Minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. A squared divided by A, we cancel off 1a from the a squared, which gives me one more a to put in the bracket. Close it up and we're all finished. Question 2, minus 3b minus 2b squared. Well, this question is designed to show you that negative signs can also be factors. So both of these terms have a minus sign, so that can be a factor. For the numbers 3 and 2, there's nothing that you can divide those by to take out the front, so let's move on to the letters. B and b squared, B would be a common factor. Opening up the brackets, I've taken the minus sign out the front, I've taken a B out the front, so all that is left of that first term is the 3. In the second term I've taken the minus sign, which means it's going to change to a plus. I've taken one B out, so there'll be one B left inside the bracket. Question 3, I have 3 terms. I just need to find a common factor in all of them. Well, the first term doesn't have any numbers, so there's not going to be a number factor, but each term does have an x, and each term also has a y. So x, y is my factor. Open the bracket. If I take an x and a y out of this first term, I will still have one x and one y left. I haven't taken any numbers out, so there'll be a 3 left for the second term. I've taken one of the x's, so there'll be 1 left. And I've taken one y, so there'll be no y's left to put in the bracket. And the last term, 5 will go inside the bracket. I've taken one of the x's, and I've taken one y, meaning there'll be one y left. There it is, factorized. Okay, question 4, we've already got some factorising that has happened here, but if you look closely, you'll see that these brackets are actually the same, and the brackets themselves can be a common factor. So I actually have a bracket here, c plus 4, that is my common factor. It's like it's sitting out the front. Then I want to open my bracket and put the leftovers inside the bracket. Well, if I've taken the c plus 4 out of this first term, that leaves me with a c. If I've taken the c plus 4 divided out of this second term, that leaves me with the minus 3. And there it is, it factorizes to c plus 4 and c minus 3. Let's do that again for question 5. I have a common factor here of d minus 1. Both of those brackets are the same. So d minus 1 is out the front as my common factor. Open the bracket to put the remaining factors in there. If I've taken d minus 1 out the front, what's left of this first term? Well, there's not really anything left there except what would have been a 1 out the front. So we put a 1 inside this second bracket. In the second term, we have a d minus 1 that we've taken out, so we have left a plus d. Alright, and that's it. That is factorising using a common factor. So if we go to the next page, I have some questions for you to try. Exactly the same thing as what we've just done. If you pause the video, try these questions, and then start the video to go through the answers. Okay, so question 1, looking for common factors. We have, for the numbers 8 and 12, both of those numbers can be divided by 4. And both of those terms have an m in them, so an m will go at the front. Open the bracket. 8 divided by 4 goes twice, and I've taken the m at the front, so that's it. For the second term, 12 divided by 4 goes 3 times, so it would be -3. I've taken one of the m's out, there'll still be a second one left inside the bracket. Question 2, I have a negative sign as a factor here. 5 and 15 can both be divided by 5, and both terms have an f, so there are 3 things to come out the front here. If I take the minus, the 5 and the f out the front, I've taken that whole first term. That leaves me with a 1 out in the first spot in my bracket. The second term, I've taken the minus, so we have a plus. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I've taken the f out, so the g is in here. Question 3, 3 terms here, so 10, 5 and 20, that's a 5 as a common factor, and each term also has an x. Open bracket. 10 divided by 5 goes twice. I've taken one x, so there's an x. The second term, the 5 has come out, the x has come out, so I have a y. And the third term, 20 divided by 5 goes 4 times, taken the x out, so there's a z left in the brackets. Question 4, we have our brackets as common factors. So w minus 2 goes out the front, and that will leave me with a 7 from the first term and a minus x from the second term. And lucky last, number 5, I have a 5 plus n as a common factor for both of those terms there, and I have an m and a plus 7. Alright, hopefully you got those right. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time for some more factorizing. Bye!